Hi guys, welcome to today's webinar series, which is in partnership with our sponsor broker Ingot Africa Ltd. Today our guest speaker is going to be Stefanie Kammerman, and we're going to talk more on the US equities and the stocks listed under NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. The daylight savings got us all confused.
Oh, I know. We go through this once a year, and it's so weird, the time zones. We were even confused yesterday. I was like, no, it's 8 o'clock Eastern. Here's Matthew. So I know. I've been working since 1 o'clock.
So it is 4:39.
I'm so sorry, guys. We'll try and make do in 40 minutes. Faith, you remember Faith from our last session?
Yeah, hi Faith. How are you doing? Hi. Hello. How's everybody doing? Good?
We're doing good. How are you?
Good. Can't complain. Busy.
Yeah.
I've been working for quite a few hours now. Morgan, yeah. So I start early. So
you're an early bird.
Yes. Very early. I go to sleep at 5 o'clock. 5. That's crazy. I know it's crazy. Yeah. 5. But then I wake up anywhere like midnight, 1 o'clock and work. I just want to set up something in the back. Hold on one sec.
No worries. Actually, today is just gonna be more of a live trading session.
I'm not gonna set that up. All right.
It's gonna be more of like a live trading session of your pre-market analysis. I know you're a technical analyst, so the earnings season and fundamentals are not really your forte, but more like what you normally prep for your chat room. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I thought you wanted me to do options. No, you don't want me to do spread betting?
We wanted to discuss more on we focus on the equities and the NASDAQ listed stocks, equities and indices, and then we'll touch on dark pools because that's your expertise. Just a little bit of that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No problem. I mean, I just mapped out all the trades for today. I guess I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, I was doing my video that I put out every morning, the whisper of the day. And that has a 90% success rate. In the last 10 years, all the videos are up on YouTube. Do you want me to share my screen?
Yes, you can. I think Faith had a fast question. She will.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can just do the and then you can share your screen. Let me give you access to share screen actually. Yeah. All right.
Okay, share screen. We're gonna share this one. Okay, there we go. Now I lost you guys. Okay, I see you. I don't need to see a chat or anything, right?
Yeah, it's more of
I'm not gonna answer any questions.
Yeah, you can ask her the first question.
Okay, so as a technical expert on US equities, does the earnings season affect your stock picks?
Earnings season? Does it affect my stock picks? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely. We love earnings season. Earnings season is the best for short-term day trading. However, we day trade it before, leading up to it on pre-earnings momentum, and then we'll trade it after earnings. So like today we have Walmart just came out, Baba came out, and the stocks are crashing. Walmart's down 7.5% right now, and Baba is down 8%. So there's a huge opportunity to day trade this. Is it going to bounce back or is it going to go down lower? So what I do is I map out levels for my traders to day trade it. you know, watching the price at pre-morning price action. Like ABA, you can see some buying just came in right now, actually. See, this is looks like seller's exhaustion. If you could see my chart here, these two volume bars. And then there's more volume right here. It looks like it's forming a rounded bottom, right? So like right now, I would recommend going short. If it breaks below that volume, I would say below $79. And I would look for a long trade, but hold on. I use a couple of pivots. I got to take out pivots. So let me just go to, you know, where would we buy the stock for a good discount right now? Okay, well, I use something called Person's Pivot, which is amazing. I'm going to show you on my screen here. You can see that this is S5. All these lines, this is computers loaded to buy. And S5 is like the last pivot. And you can see most of the buying volume came in there. That's why we bounced off of it, $79.17. So yeah, that's why I would be bearish. That means we'll go short below it. And where are we going to go long? Well, if we break above this pivot right here, 81.11, I would look to go long there if I see volume coming in, but I like to go to the next big price level, which is 50 cents. 50 cents and $1 are where computers are loaded to buy and sell. So if we break above 81.50, right, I would be bullish. You know, I take it for a day trade, at least up to here, and scalp it going against the trend. So you see, I'm already prepared, you know, where I'm going long, where I'm going short. I know exactly where I'm going to put my stop loss and so forth. So yeah, I mean, that's how we trade earnings, to answer your question. Like right now, I could look up Walmart and do the same thing for you, right?
Yeah.
So that got, yeah, look at Walmart. Walmart's really bad because we went below S5. Yeah, we went way below that. That is like, that's really bearish. However, where am I going to go long? Well, 160 is a 5 we can trade off of. You know, if we were going up to it, we'd see them selling. When we come down, buying. So I would be bullish right now above 160. That's where I'd go long. I'd put my stop just below that S5 level, and I'd be bearish below 156 probably if we go down, or 155. I expect to see buying at 155. In fact, we might be able to see it on a book. Let me just punch it up and see. But yeah, this is wild today. I mean, this is a great day. I mean, you guys picked like the perfect time to really ask me these questions because it's happening live. So I see a buyer right now on fever. It's this is actually the double. There's a buyer at 154.85, 5,000 shares. You know, not the biggest amount, but it is the biggest amount right now playing the game. So I would be bearish below that if we go below that level. All right, and bullish above 160. You know, things can change. I think those are the two. And Cisco was another one that came out with earnings. And that also got crushed. Wow. Let's check out the pivots on that one. Okay.
So you're basically a pivot point analyst, a technical analyst trader.
Yeah. Yeah, this is how easy this is because there's computers programmed. These are Person's pivots. John Person was a floor trader, and he's a really nice guy, by the way. I've interviewed him many, many times, but I've been using these pivots for like 13 years. And I'll tell you, they're amazing. Computers are programmed to buy when we go down to them and sell when we go up to them. So I use them as targets. But you can see Cisco went way below all the pivots for today, so we can't use them. So let's just get rid of the pivots. And what I use are moving averages, which I have on all my chart. Here's my 5-minute chart. All these moving averages are just, that's going to be a computer that's going to sell if the price goes up there. It's kind of like a magnet. and a rubber band. It's magnetically going to attract to it, and then it's going to bounce off of it. So, you know, we might have a little day trade here on Cisco if we go long above 48.01 here, above 48, and then to about 49, almost right before 50. There's a quick day trade to the long side. And then here's a day trade to the short side, bear below 47. I'm just going to use price levels like I just taught you, right? 50 cents and $1. So going below that. So I look at a 5-minute chart. I also look at a daily chart. This is really important too. I have moving averages here. So if I go long at 48, I'm going to take profit at 48.50 and at 49. These are just two moving averages that I use. And that's my, you know, going long day trade on it, quick scalping or bear below 47. But we can look on the book and see if there's anybody loaded big to buy or sell. And I know I'm kind of going through this fast, but this is what I do every day. It's just, I don't see anybody showing their hand. I'm just really looking for big orders in this column right here, if they're buying. So there is a buyer at 47.10, 3,500. So that's, I mean, I would be bearish below 47. I would go short at 46.99. That's what I would do. And yeah, I don't see any big sellers.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's really like my system really quickly, but see how quick I'm able to formulate those levels. Just short term, we watch the volume, watch the price action. But you know, I've been doing this for 30 years, so it's a long time.
Yeah, respect, a lot of respect to you. Hats off.
So I have the experience, but I do it for my traders. Like I literally, you know, do the work. But here's the deal. If you don't understand the trade, are you going to take the trade? You know, I can give you a trade, and are you going to, if you don't understand it, you're probably not going to take it. So that's why I teach while I'm trading and show them, you know, why, like I just did now. Why are we going to go long here? Why are we going to go short here? And, you know, and that's it. And then you see me do it. So that's the key to really learning. I mean, that's how I learned. I sat next to amazing guys who showed me the ropes and showed me while they were trading live. And I think that's the key. But there were lots of earnings. Let's see. Pan W is another one. Let me just see. So I focus on that during earnings season. You know, for day trading, my #1 picks for the day to day trade is going to be the stocks that came out with earnings. So Palo Alto Networks, they came out with earnings. They're also down 5.9% today. Wow. So I pretty much did the same thing. Let me just show you the pivots on that, because you know, there's a whole bunch of them today. Yeah, so here's the pivot. And we're in between, we're right above R3. So I did a trade to the pivot here, bearish below. I used the $5 level. I'm going to zoom in on this. There's the $5 level. And then I use this as my target, S3, as person's S3 pivot. So using it as a target, using the $5 level. But if it goes below that, you know, our next entry would be bear below, let's say 238, you know, for the short term. Here's the pivot. So we go bear. So sometimes we take a trade to the pivot. And then if we're really close, I'll recommend a trade below the pivot. All right, but then I went bullish above here, you know, and that's my trade on that one. And I think that's the only ones that had earnings. Yeah, this morning so far. Yeah. Okay. All right. And any other questions?
Could you also touch on cryptos, Bitcoins?
Yeah, because the current sponsor broker has actually allowed us to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum on a platform called HISA. So that's something new for the Kenyan clients, actually.
Oh, okay. So I have I've done very well trading Bitcoin. I'm not trading it right now, personally. But I have done very well in the past, just really doing everything I do when I trade stocks. You know, I'm mostly an options trader, by the way, but let me show you the Bitcoin futures because I map this out every day. This is very helpful. If you want to trade Bitcoin, you know, we have a major level right here, 38,000. All right, so I've been tracking this for a long time. So here was my, you see this black line that I drew a little while back in the beginning of October, where I said, if we go above here, this was a resistance area, right? That's where you want to go long, right? And you see when we broke above it here, that was a good place to go long. And then I drew another kind of box right here where I said, okay, if we go long. So right now, let me just get rid of this for a second. You know, my levels to watch. So we have support at 35,000. Okay, as long as we hold over 35,000, but we have resistance at 38,000. So if we break above 38,000, I'm going to say 40,000 is going to be our next target in the bigger picture. Let's kind of go back. All right, so 40. I mean, we've been to 48. Oh, hold on. 40 would be our next. And I would say 48,000 would be a high-end target. So we like to take profits along the way. But I always wait for levels to be broken. It's really important. I don't ever, you know, front run my levels. I don't need to be the first person in it. But, you know, here's my chart setup. So bullish above 38,000. First target would be 40,000. Second target 45, and third target 48,000. If we go below 35,000, well, that's going to be bearish. All right, for it. You know, if you wanted to short, I know that's a little bit harder. There are stocks that we can trade that kind of mimic Bitcoin. One of them is Mara. That was a recommendation I made yesterday.
Is Mara linked to wine? Because we have Masai Mara in Kenya, and some stocks emulates
right.
You know, some wine called Mara.
Oh, this is Marathon. Yeah, this is Marathon Digital Holdings.
Okay.
And we've had dark pool activity on it, and I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll actually show you those trades. And really what the dark pool, it's just Goldman Sachs will say, like the big guys, doing large trades. So we track those really large trades because they're going to move the market. And I spotted these trades recently on Mara. Let's see, starting at 9. Yeah, I mean, in September, we had all of these pretty big trades. And I use that $5 level, right? The $10 level to be bullish above. And just watching the Bitcoin futures, you know, if Mara can stay above 10, that's going to be very bullish. You can see, well, I have a lot of moving averages on my chart, but the big wicks, every time they took it above 10 in the past, the selling came in and it never closed above it on the day. Like it went above and then the sellers came in, it went above. Yesterday was the first time it closed above it. So I put on a bullish recommendation going to about $12. That's really my target for this trade. So if I see Bitcoin futures go above 38,000, that's only going to make the Mara trade look better, right? You kind of want them both to be breaking above levels at the same time. So that's why, yeah, really watching that. But yeah, it's interesting as long as we stay above that. So yeah, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, you know, it's all about knowing how to trade. You know, pretend it's a stock. Look at the stock chart. And if it's doing what, you know, a stock would do that you would buy it, you know, absolutely, you know, buy it. But it is a speculative trade. I don't trust the brokers. I really don't. I don't trust the brokers. You know, there's been a lot of bad publicity, you know, the FTX scandal, Coinbase, other crypto brokers that, you couldn't get your money out. If you're short-term trading, it's got to be available. But if you're buying it just for a speculative long-term play, I would recommend putting it into a hard wallet. Getting a wallet. That's what I did when I was trading it. I bought it, held it for a couple months in a hard wallet. And then when I went to sell it, I took it out of the hard wallet and then I sold it.
All right. I was actually researching on dark pools before we had this session, and then I realized just from my university degree on world quant that there are 3 types of dark pools. So one is broker dealer owned, just to mention what you're saying in terms of trust. Then there's electronic market makers. I think that ties with HFTs and whatnot, and also agency broker exchange owned. So maybe you can just from your own expertise give us the differences between the institutional order flow and how that comes in with market manipulation for people to look out for, especially for non-regulated brokers. So, and non-regulated, I mean, Fed and governments and trickle down ECB from,
So let me be honest with you. Is that going to help you trade? So there's a lot of information that people want to have, how does it work? How is this? How is that? There's a lot of dark stuff surrounding the dark pool, as you know, right now. Are you familiar with the AMC traders?
No, you can enlighten us.
Oh, there's millions of them, okay, who were, I want to use the word duped. Okay, they're called apes. And I've been on Fox Business News with Charles Payne talking about this one stock, all right, called AMC. And yeah, so they were told, okay, they were told that the stock was going to go to the moon and never to sell it. Okay, and they were told that Citadel was shorting it. That's a big broker, was shorting the stock, and that if everybody buys it, we can pretty much beat the big guy. Okay, beat the big guy. Now you can see the stock chart right here. There was a big short squeeze. Retailers came in, like millions of, everybody just buying as many shares as they can. And supposedly, right, there's a float and they bought all the shares, and Citadel needed to cover their short, and it was going to go to, they thought, like $2,000. Okay, but something happened. This is what I wanted to talk about with this dark pool. So it only went to 70, which I thought, hey, that's a short squeeze. Like, take your money and run. A stock went from $2. Would you guys sell with $2 stock went to 70? And they called me crazy. All right. They go, oh, no, that's not the short squeeze. We're looking for it to. Now, I know the big guys always win. So they create, now I saw, these massive sell prints in the dark pool at $52.37. And I went on and I went on like several broadcasts in front of all of the apes. And I said, if it goes below $52.37, you must sell. All right. Like it's going to crash. And again, I took a lot of heat. I mean, even Charles Payne didn't want to bring me back on his show. This is the sad part. He's like, no, Steph, we have to give people hope. And I'm like, no, I want to give people money. He didn't want to go against the ape community. All right. And my job is to help people make money. If I see something, I'm going to tell you where the institutional money flow is. And so, I mean, this was huge. And I'll tell you what happened. So they created synthetic shares, like they made up their own shares. So it's like, what they did was completely illegal. Okay. And people are freaking out. It's not fair. The market's not fair. It's rigged. It's manipulated. The big guys are always going to win the game. So if you follow, okay, the dark pool that I follow, because there's a lot of different dark pools and they can do all that. That's where there's just big, huge block trades. It always leads us in the right direction because they can always do stuff like, so what happened with GameStop, which they made documentaries. So the same thing happened with GameStop. this huge Reddit community was buying GME. And you know what they did? When the little guys were winning, I mean, look, it went up even higher than this. They took away the buy button. Okay, they took away, Citadel had to sell. They were like the leading broker on this trade, and they took away the buy button, so nobody could buy it, and it dropped. So, you know, it's crazy. I mean, you can watch, there's a whole documentary on it, and it's just, I try to tell people, the big guys always win in this game. You know, they have the most money and they can make things like that happen, which is, it's crazy. So yeah, there are different dark pool exchanges. You know, when I first started out, I was in front of an Instinet machine. And actually, I have a video somewhere of that where I'm literally sitting in front of this green glowing machine, and only the big prop firms had access to it, and it cost a lot of money a month, but that was where the big guys were doing all of their trades, and I could see it. So yeah, did I have a huge advantage? Absolutely. I mean, that's why we were making money. And I learned that's the only way to trade. Like, you have to follow the institutional money flow. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool that, you know, millions of retail traders were trying to gang up and win the system. I mean, that I wanted them to win, Sylvia. Like, I wanted them to win, but I know the way the game works. And, you know, and now, unfortunately, millions of people are also learning, and they're pissed, and they're, you know, still holding on to this stock that's been just, you know, and they split it, you know, they split it actually. And then it came all the way back down again. This is where they split the stock, and now it's just been going down again. It was at $2, so it didn't go up. They just did a reverse stock split, which very painful. Yeah. And so, I mean, I hope I answered your question, but it's just really about, if you, I know you want to make money in the market. That's why I'm here. I think that's why the people that are watching are here, you know, and yeah, my job is not to make the market fair. And, you know, these millions of apes wanted me to make the market fair. Even Charles Payne on his show goes, Stefanie, you know, are you going to call the SEC and complain to them? And I was like, no, you know, I don't have that much power, but we're here to make money. So, you know, maybe that's always
sorry to cut you short, but maybe as we conclude, you can tell us, like, when you say the big boys, we've seen statements in the news about flash boys, you know, the big boys that you're saying, and also the flash crash. Is that in any way related to the EMH hypothesis, or, you know?
So flash crashes happen because there's no market makers anymore. We used to have market makers on the level 2. There used to be Goldman Sachs here. There used to be Morgan Stanley. There used to be all the and we would follow the prominent market maker. When we just knew, like, Goldman Sachs controlled Sun Microsystems and Cisco, you know, all the stocks, and Microsoft. But back in I don't really know what year they disappeared, but they disappeared over the years, and all of a sudden, all we have are electronic communication network books. And there's nobody controlling the market. Nobody has to take the other side of your trade. And it's gotten much thinner. And that's kind of scary, you know, like, and that's why we have flash crashes. The algos, there's just algos right now. And when people turn the algos off, it just goes down without any volume to where that person wants to buy at the bottom. And that's happened many, many times, where it's like an elevator, just that lost control, isn't stopping at any floors and just goes right to the bottom. So that's why we have flash crashes, and we'll continue to have them, because nobody is responsible to be assigned at each level. It used to be like that back in the day. The flash boys are just high frequency traders.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all that is high frequency, and they're annoying. And I'll tell you how annoying it can be, because as a stock trader, it's been happening forever. As a stock trader, I'd come in the morning, and there'd be like a big spread on this, like my stock would be up, but there would be a big spread between the bid and the offer. And I would try to get out. I didn't want to sell on the bid because it was like $1 lower and the offer's higher. So I would go in like a penny below the offer and try to sell. And the flash boys, the high frequency trading, would come in and cut my order off before my order even hit the tape. And so their order would come in and I'd have to go a penny below them and it would keep happening. They cut me off because it was, high frequency. Their algo, and there's a whole documentary on them as well, where whoever got closest to the NASDAQ floor, like their computer, would be able to cut off another computer till finally they have them all in one room in the NASDAQ right now, all the computers. It's crazy, but yeah, they're just high speed and that's okay. I test the market that way to see if it's really strong or really weak and so forth. So it's,
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really what that is.
Yeah, I think our time has ended. Unfortunately, we'll double check the daylight savings. We'll also upload this live, basically for both your chat room traders and also for ourselves. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into today's webinar session. We've touched on dark pools trading. We've also touched on crypto trading, and we've also touched on US equities and indices. If you want to trade cryptocurrencies by a regulated broker by the CMA, you can do so using HISA at Ingot Africa Brokers Limited. And thank Stefanie for your time, and also thank you to our sponsor broker,